Thanks very much.
Of course, thank you very much. I'd like to thank Economist Impact and Nizami Ganjavi International Center for bringing us here together today. Nizami Ganjavi for the last decade has brought together world leaders, former presidents, prime ministers, ministers to come together and talk about the challenges that face the world today, that talk about the many issues from security and climate to war and economics and social issues, and to try to add some wisdom from former leaders to current leaders. And so they have had many, many different events in many different countries over the years, every year in New York and Baku, but then many, many others. And so they bring together some really, really great leaders.
Excellent. Would you like to give us your opening thoughts on?
So again, I'd like to thank you for bringing us together to give me the opportunity to speak from the perspective of Ukraine, because Ukraine's a country that's fighting for our survival, but also fighting for a vision of a sustainable and competitive Europe. When we talk about sustainability in Europe, we often speak in the language of targets, regulations, and technology. But for Ukraine, sustainability has become something far more immediate, a question of our survival, for our people, for our land, and for our shared European future. Before Russia's full-scale invasion, Ukraine was emerging as one of Europe's most dynamic leaders in renewable energy and climate adaptation. We had one of the fastest growing renewable sectors in Europe, solar fields in Mykolaiv and Zaporizhia, wind farms along the southern coast, and bioenergy and small hydro projects across the country. By 2021, renewables made up over 13% of our electricity generation, and plans were underway to integrate hydrogen production and storage for export to the EU. Our goal was clear: to decarbonize while modernizing, to turn the energy transition to an engine of competitiveness and independence. But then came the war, and with it the destruction not just of lives and cities, but of ecosystems and green infrastructure. The Kakhovka Dam explosion unleashed one of Europe's worst environmental disasters in a decade, flooding towns and farmland, destroying irrigation systems, and leaving toxic sediments across the Dnipro basin. Coal mines in Donbass have flooded, contaminating rivers and groundwater with heavy metals. Millions of hectares of farmland are mined and unusable. Solar and wind farms, once symbols of our clean energy future, have been occupied or destroyed. And the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant, under Russian military control, remains in constant danger for all of Europe. The Russians have been breaking all international protocols in Zaporizhia, and they have also threatened, as you have heard, Chernobyl power station as well. So this is what we call ecocide, the deliberate assault on nature as a part of war. It reminds us that environmental security and human security are inseparable. And yet, even under bombardment, Ukraine has not abandoned its green vision. We continue to align our energy strategy with the European Green Deal. We continue to see ourselves as part of Europe's defense and Europe's green future. Because Ukraine is not only a victim of environmental aggression, Ukraine is also a future asset for Europe's competitiveness. We have some of the best conditions for renewable energy in Europe, vast plains for wind, abundant sun for solar. We have the potential to become a major producer of green hydrogen and reliable supplier of critical raw materials, such as lithium, graphite, rare earths that are essential for Europe's clean technology. In agriculture, Ukraine can pioneer climate-smart farming to strengthen Europe's sustainable food security. So rebuilding Ukraine is not only about reconstruction, it is an opportunity to build back greener, smarter, more competitive for Europe and for not only for Ukraine, but for Europe as well. And this brings us to the central paradox that we are discussing today. Can Europe stay competitive while leading on sustainability? From our perspective, the answer is yes, but only if Ukraine is a part of the equation. Integrating Ukraine into EU's energy and economic systems expands Europe's capacity, resources, and markets. Investing in Ukraine's green recovery will show that sustainability and competitiveness can reinforce each other and cancel each other out, not cancel each other out. By holding Russia accountable for ecocide, Europe will defend not only Ukraine's future, but its own credibility as a global climate leader. Ukraine should not be Europe's burden. Ukraine is Europe's green opportunity. If Europe truly wants to lead on sustainability and remain competitive, it cannot do so without Ukraine. Because Ukraine's victory in this war is not only about land, about borders, or about sovereignty. It's about the survival of a model, one where freedom, sustainability, and competitiveness strengthen each other. A Ukrainian victory will secure Europe's clean energy future, protect its environment, and prove that democracies can defend both security and sustainability at once. Ukraine's victory will make Europe stronger, safer, and greener. It will show that sustainability is not a luxury of peace. It is a foundation of lasting peace. And together, we can transform the destruction of war into a model of resilience, one where victory for Ukraine means a sustainable, competitive, and secure future for all of Europe. Thank you.
Thank you.